He's an absolute legend. It isn't only what he did. It's what he's doing in the now. Have I given away who he is? God forbid. They know him as Kid. From Staten Island to Madrid, anytime you attended his concerts, you felt right at home and wanted to stay. That's what he brought to the table as one half of the legendary duo, Kid and Play. He brings the masses together regardless of color, race, or creed. Tonight he's looking to take the lead. His progress will never impede. He's a legendary, talented human being indeed. So put your hands together for a kind, honest, intelligent human being. First name Christopher, last name Reid. Welcome to the celebrity tournament, my friend.
What's up, man? Wow. Thank you, Avi. That was, yeah, I agree with all your previous guests, man. You give good intro, you know.
I'm glad I give something good.
you give good intro, brother. I appreciate it.
You deserve it.
Thank you. I didn't know you from Queens, though. You from Queens?
Queens, my friend. Queens, yeah. Originally Forest Hills, Rego Park, Elmhurst.
Shocker. A Jewish guy from Forest Hills.
Sunny side.
Shocker.
Do you concur with JW and with Courtney? It doesn't matter who's in front of you. You're here to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? I've already won because I know whether I win the the debate or the fan vote tonight. I'm sure I'm going to be enlightened by our other guests, and you've got some interesting questions that you posed to us. So now I'm already won. I won when I woke up this morning.
I love that. Thank you.
In your mouth.
Christopher Reid will make a case for Johnny Lawrence, either Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, we'll see, as the greatest movie villain turn in film. Are you ready to go, my friend?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, and I brought. I hope it's not a bad thing. I brought a little mini me with me.
I love it.
I brought a friend. I brought a friend in case I get stuck. Avi, I think we had spoke previously, and we talked about the idea of maybe talking about Johnny Lawrence as a villain turned hero. I've thought about it since then, and I think I want to go with I've heard people mention it before, but I want to get behind that. I'm gonna go with Apollo Creed movies. We're talking about Carl Weathers, a great actor who works to this day, and I think if you see that arc, sometimes the turn happens over a series of movies. Maybe it doesn't happen right away. If you go back and remember where we first saw Apollo Creed in the first Rocky movie, I mean, clearly the bad guy. A synthesis of kind of a version of Muhammad Ali, if you will, who was in the 60s. If fans remember, a lot of fans didn't like. A lot of black fans liked him, but a lot of white fans didn't like him. So he was considered a villain, and sometimes, as you know, in athletics and even in movie athletics. The villain will get you to come to the fight, to the event, because you want to see him get his ass whooped. He thought Stallone was a joke, and easy. They used to, he was a bum, and he said that. So there he goes. He wins in Rocky 1. He loses in Rocky 2. Rocky is mad in the game, still a game, a champion. He's getting a little fat. He's not fat, but he's getting, he's resting on his laurels. He's not the gung-ho fighter that he used to be. He gets his ass beat by Mr. T. He's lost his confidence. He's lost his mojo. Where do you get that back from? Here comes Apollo Creed, his nemesis. The two you thought could never kick it together. He volunteers and says, yo, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get you back to the mountaintop. He coaches, he trains Rocky to victory, moving forward into Rocky 4. Okay, now they're homeboys. And what happens? Here comes the Russian. The Russian gonna kill Apollo Creed. They come to the center of the ring. They, just supposed to tap gloves and whatever like that. Man, dude, tap the gloves. Drago's gloves don't go nowhere. He said, you will lose. About 2 minutes later, Apollo Creed is on life support. So anyway, and now when he dies, you know what I'm saying? He ain't a villain no more. So when he dies, we're really emotional about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, Apollo Creed, we forgot what an ass he was in the first 2 movies. Yeah. Right? So that's a hell of a turn.
At the whole thing where he throws the towel, he doesn't throw it the whole time at the behest of Apollo. But then at the end, he changes his mind. I'm like, which one is it? He throws it at the end. I don't understand. You're either gonna do it or you're not. That's the thing that's messed up about Rocky.
No, but if I may, didn't Apollo like give him a signal like don't throw it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he was getting beat, but his pride, his pride because he's a hero now.
Now he's a hero.
He asked Stallone, he asked Rocky as a friend, like, don't do it.
We're going to start things off right now, guys and gals, with Christopher Reid, who will make a case for the University of Miami as the most successful college sports program of all time.
I got involved in knowing about the Miami Hurricanes, particularly on the football side, in the 80s. That's when they reigned supreme. You know, they had a 57 or 58. Maybe I believe it was 58 straight home wins down at the Orange Bowl, the old crusty Orange Bowl. So they recruited within Florida, but they were getting the inner city kid. So it basically started with the first football coach of note. His name was Howard Schnellenberger. It took them to the mountain, took them to a championship. Then you had Jimmy Johnson, who everybody knows that went on to have championships with the Cowboys, but he won a championship with the Canes as well. Then you had Dennis Erickson. It wasn't a flourishing place, where money was flying out the things with big donors and everything. These were city kids that went to the top of the collegiate football mountain. Miami Hurricanes basketball, they went to the Final Four last year, or they went Elite Eight or Final Four. So now the basketball has risen to the same heights as some of the previous sports. So that's why I'm saying, under dire circumstances, from as far back as the 80s, the University of Miami is the greatest, most successful, beating and going against all the odds that has ever existed. It's all about the U.
When March rolls around this year and people start filling out their brackets and doing all their numbers and everything, you know for a fact that Duke is going to be on that list.
A lot of people want to ring Christian Laettner's bells too. Christopher Reid.
As Robert De Niro said to Al Pacino in the movie Heat, there's a flip side to that coin. Duke was founded by tobacco money, okay? Cannon Duke made his money in the tobacco game. So Duke's whole existence is based on the desecration of America's lungs.
I love that, guys.
For the record, there was no mention of the U during that infamous Kid and Play diss track on Luke Skywalker in Miami.
But that's when, you know what? Truth be told, that's when we was beefing with Luke. We had beef with Luke. Just real quick, just as an aside, okay?
Please.
It shows you how the rap battle days have changed. You know what I'm saying? So we had some beef with Luke back in the days. And I guess he saw us on a television show and we weren't really supporting him. That's when he was going through all those court cases and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Me and Play were in the back giggling. We didn't even know what was going on. So they made a record about us where they were just talking stuff, saying we soft suckers from New York and whatever. So we put a record about him on our album, Face the Nation.
Yeah, Face the Nation.
The song was called Next Question. So we had a verse about him. We had a verse about Vanilla Ice. We just, taking shots because they had taken shots at us.
Sure.
So we put that out there and everything. So then Luke and them come back with a answer record to that. And the answer record, is it okay to curse? Can I curse?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so the name of the record that Luke and his homeboys made was called
Live Crew.
Yeah, it was called Pussy Ass Kid and Hoe Ass Play. Okay. Now, after we heard that record, I was like, all right, man, we need to squash this.
Mr. Christopher Reid, can a person be happy if they've never experienced sadness, my friend?
Divorce is one of the toughest things that I ever had to go through. And you never think that you're going to see or find love again. But, many years later, I'm the happiest that I've ever been. So, but it doesn't mean, and I can look at the sadness now, and a lot of it I can laugh at. I mean, like, man, we was tripping. I was tripping. Well, the arguments that were had and this and that. So you can get through it. But I do think that sometimes the tragedy, the sadness, the bad times certainly make you appreciate the good times.
Beautiful, guys. No. Gosh, thank you. Look, as sappy as it sounds, thank you all for sharing your heart and mind. I appreciate it greatly. I teach the craft of storytelling as well as writing for a studio for 18 years. But I got to say this, man. You're the one. You and Play both inspired me when I started writing poetry. I wrote poetry and started freestyling at a young age because of you guys and your message and what it meant. And we've got a large audience, and I want to say that. I don't say that too often about people, but when I do get a chance to say it, why not? Because life is short. We don't know what tomorrow might bring. So if it means anything to you, man, you inspired me way back when. And thank you again for being such a class act, no pun intended. You are great, Christopher Reid.
Thank you,
I'm
brother.
glad you had a lot of fun.
The fact that you're from Queens is real cool. It's been a great experience, and let's keep moving it forward, man. I appreciate you. Keep rhyming, man. That opening, your opening salvo is very, very, very entertaining. And like I said, it gave me like a battle rap, spoken word. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're into that. I'm kind of into that, but yeah, very, very clever wordplay. So the English major in me certainly appreciates that.
Means the world to me. Talk to you soon, my friend, and congratulations. In Portland, he did commentary in wrestling as his repertoire would continue to grow, eventually resonating with the angst-ridden youth like Sebastian Bach of Skid Row, living for the day rather than tomorrow. In WCW, he won the light heavyweight championship before working for the WWF, where he would manage and produce national TV. In ECW, we'd hear his voice loud and clear as it spoke volumes like a liberated banshee. He innovated and helped revolutionize a culture that was screaming for the truth. His promos and in-ring work, always the best. Like a Yankee named Babe Ruth. ECW champion, WCW US champion, tag team champion, NWA heavyweight champion, and the hardcore title? How about winning it a record 39 times? He's a true Renaissance man, which I hope was expressed in these very rhymes. So I hope I put a smile on his face as he's entertained us all. Heck, I'll even settle for a grin. For a man whose class personified, humble and kind. Please welcome Raven. Raven, welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. God almighty. Raven, there's a lot of luminaries here. I can't wait to see what this night brings us. But are you also here to win the entire tournament?
Yeah, I guess.
You're very bashful and humble, though, because you, again, are one of the smartest human beings. And it took me, 5 minutes on the phone to realize that. That's from the heart.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know about being one of the smartest human beings. I used to be smart, but I killed too many brain cells with chair shots and drugs.
Well, my God almighty, man, you inspired a lot of people, man, and I'm glad you're here tonight with us, my friend. Guys and gals and pals, we only just begun. Mr. Raven will explain why he selected the John Cusack boombox scene in Say Anything as a movie scene that was iconic due to the music chosen for that particular scene. Mr. Raven, are you good to go, good sir?
Yes, I am. And first, I'd like to say it was a brilliant monologue by DC Glenn, but I feel like it has, and not to sound derogatory, but I feel like it had nothing, you got so far off the point of why the music was so indicative of the scene that you saw. This became a dissertation about what the meaning is to you of the music, or when the scene came of the character and music and how Yoda performs. But it really wasn't as about the music, about the show, the movie, so to speak. It was about a whole lot of things based on one thing. Based on a different question. And so what I'm going with is the boombox scene from Say Anything, which was so iconic, and the music was so iconic. And interestingly, they originally were going to use Elvis Costello, but it didn't work out, and luckily they didn't, because Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes became the song they chose for the boombox scene. But the basic thing is that that's why the scene is so iconic, because the music is so perfectly chosen. The way the beats play and the way the song picks up and the way that it has a dramatic build to it, and it makes the scene just an iconic piece of music, a piece of movie making that'll live forever. Anybody who's ever went through high school, which is everybody pretty much, can understand, or anybody who's ever had a first love, which is pretty much everybody, can understand that feeling of despair and heartbreak and resolve, trying to win her back.
Question here that I got for Raven. Do the simple things become complexities when we try to attain perfection whenever you are ready to go, good sir?
Yeah, complexity, everything becomes more complex when you're going to achieve perfection, because everything in perfection is perfect. How can anything be simple to achieve something that is so beyond simple, beyond anything you can grasp when it's perfect? It's a simple question with a simple answer. The answer is yes.
What the fuck?
Look, that's a simple thing. It's a simple question. I'm not going to go off on a tangent about my career and my consciousness and all this.
Let's go.
I'm just going to state the point. I'm going to answer the question as simply as I can. The simple things become complex when you're going for perfection. The complex things become even more complex. Everything becomes harder when they're going to achieve perfection. I mean, it's a simple question with a simple answer. When you say I hurt, that's being aware of your own consciousness. When you say I ache, when you say I love, you're aware of your own consciousness. You're thinking, I think, therefore I am. Everybody gets collaboration at some point, whether it's from their mom, their father, their uncle. And it's also, it's a simple question that he took and he made it into a beautiful oration about the power of collaboration. But it once again is a simple question with a simple answer.
Starting with Raven, who will explain why he selected JFK as a historical figure that he would go back in time and try to save.
I would go back and save JFK because he was so... The way the world was shaping up and how the world became afterwards, it's like we went into the dark ages when he died. JFK would have done so much more for this country. The spirit that he had, the spirit that he brought, was so meaningful to the world, and because it became so rotten afterwards for a little bit of time, with the Vietnam War going horribly. And all the after effects of that. I don't want to belabor the point, but it was just tragic. His death left such a scar on the American psyche that that we're still battling against now. I could go on for hours, about it, but I'm not gonna just keep talking because I think it's best left at what I've said. I think the point is made. And I would just be adding on.
I am the example. All I can do is be the example.
Oh,
so your question said,
you're bringing an example.
You
started out with a partner, with a collaboration and tag team, and then you had a lawsuit, and then you came back together and collaborated with other people.
I don't have the hit that you had, DC. I don't have that hit. So I
understand. So for me, the question is, does a societal advancement only happen with collaboration? Therefore, I choose to collaborate.
I agree with you.
Man, oh man, you blew my mind tonight, my good friend. Did you have a lot of fun today, Raven?
Yeah, I did. I really surprisingly did. I thought it was a really good time. I felt like I was the antagonist, and that's all right with me because I love being the heel.
He was drafted #1 by the Portland Trailblazers in 2007, and Rip City was truly in heaven. He had presence like Ernie Johnson, who grew up in Milwaukee. He now coaches the game. It isn't about the fame or the acclaim, as he remains the same. He reminds us to cheer up when life gets tough and to lift our chin. A loss yesterday might be tomorrow's win, even when all seems lost, like a suplex turned into an Andre the Giant pin. In this tournament, the man is here to win, so embrace your grin as I welcome a talented, humble, kind human being. First name Greg, last name Oden. Greg Oden, welcome to the Celebrity Tournament, my friend.
What's going on, man? Appreciate that. That intro was awesome, man.
I'll ask you the same question, my friend. I know you're a big movie buff. It's such a diverse pool of talent we have over here. Are you here to win the whole thing, my friend?
Anytime I can get a free trip to Greece and take my wife and $13,000, I'm in it. Please give it to me. You win this time.
Greg, my question for you real quickly is, do you feel like right now a lot of the younger players, do they respect the players that came before them, the ones who are coming up?
The ones who are smart do. You're always going to be in those rooms. You're always going to have the honor to meet these guys, and just knowing your history, is going to help get these guys to where the game is eventually going to go. So I would say to a young guy to learn your history and learn these great players as Mr. Barry himself.
The sad part about it is that they're missing out on an opportunity to take their game to another level.
Greg, again, the question about critical thinkers, can you provide an example, Greg, where you didn't settle for the norm, and as a result, you benefited greatly due to unleashing the power of critical thinking, my friend?
I go back to when I retired, honestly. I was having a daughter, about to get married, just really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and just knew that I wanted to be a better example. So when I try to think about, what did I do or actually critically think about to better myself, it's actually literally critical thinking and going back to college. So I just enrolled back in summer school, started learning, started figuring out what I wanted to do, which led me to go in sports education, and also started being around basketball, which kind of led me to where I am right now, honestly. So when I look at that question, I'm like, as a basketball player, I'm really not critical thinking very often, but I actually had to do it a lot to get my degree. I would say literally critical thinking in college to get my degree led me to moving forward in my life and being a better example for my family, which I like to say, I can't tell my daughter she has to go to college if I didn't have my degrees.
Bringing this up because I think this is something that our viewers would love to know.
Mm-hmm.
And God almighty, I mean, that record, 103-7, I read it in my introduction, but you found new purpose as a coach. And you wrapped up your first season as Butler's director of basketball operation, doing it alongside Thad Matta, your former coach who's at the helm of Butler's program. That must be extra special.
Thad is somebody who I find very special in my life. I mean, I look at some really good moments in my life, and I like to say Thad was there for all of them. And that's going to college, helping me get my degree, becoming the #1 pick, actually going back to college. So when I went back, he was still the coach there. So he brought me along, let me be around the team. I'm just very thankful for him and hope that we can build something special at Butler, man. We're getting some good talent, and we just got to get these guys better.
Greg, aliens have landed on our planet. They're only here for about 4 hours. Greg, you have limited time to make them realize how valuable we are as a species, but you can only do so one of 3 ways. You can either screen a particular film to them, you can play a song for them, or you can recite a quote. What would you choose and why, my friend, whenever you are ready?
I decided to screen a movie, and I went with the film Transformers. The reason why I went with this movie is because it's, one, going to show how aliens, even though they're alien robots, and humans can work together to defeat evil. It's a little bit of comedy in there. You got a R&B singer and Tyrese acting. The reason why I love that movie, the week that I was in New York before I got drafted in 2007, I want to say it was the end of June, and I was just busy all day, interviews, all types of things. And one thing my agency set up for me, they rented out a movie theater and they early screened Transformers for me a week before it was released. And that's what I did literally right before the draft. I can go into that story and give a heartfelt moment and get some sympathy from the aliens as well. I'm just trying to hit all different types of things just to go in, don't kill me, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing talking to an alien.
I love that. And what's cool about that pick, too, is, the aliens and the robots, Transformers, aliens. The Transformers can walk up to the aliens and go, you see those humans? We don't like them either. They can relate to the aliens. They can get along with them. They can be diplomats at first. So I kind of like that. When you were in 6th grade, Mike Conley Sr. came calling. Conley said he spoke to your mom and to Jimmy Smith, and then he met you. You were a 6th grader. You were about 6'4", and he asked you what you wanted to be, and you said a dentist.
Yeah. I wanted to be a dentist. I had a good dentist growing up, but as of now, and what Mike Conley did tell me, he goes, don't nobody want them big old hands in their mouth?
Mr. Greg Oden, my question for you, good sir, is what is one thing that society has lost that you wish we could get back?
The first thing I think about is the idea of patience in the grind. Having my daughter who's 7 years old and everything that she's exposed to in the world, one quality that I want her to have is patience. Be able to put the time in, get as knowledgeable, as as you can of a subject. You know, the satisfaction you make of, you know, hitting the game winner, but also knowing that you put the work in. You had the confidence to take that shot because you know, the thousands of shots you've already taken and making. I want her to feel so empowered when she does something that she knows everything about it, and she feels confident to stand there and do whatever it is she wants to do. You know, all we see is the finished product. You know, everything else, you know, the DoorDashes, the Ubers, everything is right here. It's so quick. You know, it's just life is just so quick. You know, I want people to enjoy the process and actually put the work in.
You had a nice time tonight, my friend?
I did. I appreciate you guys. This was awesome. I really do appreciate it.